Installing HVAC system in a basement sounds simple, but this ended up being way more involved than I expected. MRCOOL sent me their new dual fuel system to install down here. And once I got into it, there were a few things I definitely didn't expect. So I'm going to show you what it actually takes to install a system like this, and what I learned along the way. All right, guys, this might be the most important part of finishing off this whole house remodel and finishing the basement. Step one is to remove the old unit. Make sure that the power is turned off to both units, both the furnace and the condenser outside. Then make sure the gas is shut off to the furnace, and then you can remove the unit safely without any issues. I hired an HVAC company to come and remove all the refrigerant. What they did is pulled all the refrigerant back into the outside condenser so that it was safe to take the line set off. All right, guys, the system I'm installing is a dual fuel system. It's a heat pump with a gas furnace backup. It should be noted that this is not a DIY product from MRCOOL. It's recommended that it's installed by a certified HVAC technician, or that the project is overseen by an HVAC professional. All right, so now we got that close. Go ahead and try to get this plenum, or this A-coil on there. I don't think I can move it all at once, which I gotta figure out how to jack this up. I might have to get like a jack and a 2x4 to push this up. This part took a little more planning than I expected. The new furnace and A-coil was about 1.25 inches taller than the old one, so I had to cut up the plenum and then downsize it about 1 inch, 1.5 inches to get it to line up with the new A-coil. This is where 2 people would come in hand. Like I just said, a second person at this phase would be super helpful. All right, we got that on there. Now I gotta work it over, and I can tell right now that that's gonna be a problem. All right, so right here, I will reach inside of the plenum through a hole that an HVAC duct cleaning company cut, and that gave me access to bend the tab up. If you don't have a hole there, you would probably have to cut one in order to bend that tab up. So you can see that tab right there. I bent that up all the way around. I kind of propped the duct back up just to give me a little space, and then I'm gonna put those S channels back in that hold this in place. Good. Is where the trap comes through. Just mounted it there with 2 screws. One is going to hook to the exhaust, so there's a little plug in here. Pull that plug out, and the other one is gonna hook right there. So I gotta pull that plug out. That's where any condensation will come out. All right, so I reused all of the 2-inch intake and exhaust PVC pipe. I had to make a few minor adjustments to connect it. And as well, I reused the gas line as it was sized properly. And again, I just had to make a few adjustments to get it to hook up to the gas inlet on the furnace. So I got the power off. Center to center is 26.5. I mean, that'll sit on this perfect. So I'm gonna luck out. I'm not gonna have to do anything to this. Up to this point, I would say running the line set was the most difficult part for me, not because there's anything wrong with them, it's just because you have to go inside and outside a ton. Those where I want them, I'm gonna get them hooked up, and then I'll go in and start working my line set towards the indoor unit. All right, I had to take those bright lights out because I couldn't see the ceiling. So this is where the pre-charge line sets, if they're not exactly the right length, you have to do something with the extra, and that is obviously can be problematic. I kind of want to coil them up. I'm not going to have a ton, but I kind of want to coil it up here where there's an open space here. So I have the line set in. It's probably the most difficult part so far. This is pretty big line. And I didn't have much left, just one coil, which I just did right here. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. Obviously, with the pre-charge line set, this is the downside. 25-foot line set wouldn't work, so the next step up was a 35. So here's where things got a little bit tricky. Step 7, wiring all the controls. All right, guys, so what you're seeing me mount right here is what they call an interface board. Everything runs through this interface board. Once I understood that, the wiring made a lot more sense. I'll put all of the wiring connections on the screen in a manner that you can understand. All right, so these are the wires from the A-coil that I gotta plug into this, and they only plug in one way. That wire there and that wire there are from the A-coil. Okay, so this is the wiring to the thermostat. You'll see we have C and R hooked up. On the other side, we have W and OB, and when you program your thermostat, it will select the proper one. Then we have Y, G, and W2. All right, this is the condenser, and the wires that come out here are R, C, Y2, and B. This is the furnace. We have C, G, R, and W1 from the furnace up to the control. And then this blue one right here is the T1 air temp sensor that goes out and goes into the return airflow. And there's only one spot I can plug into this box. It comes down, and I just zip tied mine right here where the return air comes in. So this is one sensor that will stop the whole system from working if you miss it. And then because the thermostat wires come here, the outdoor unit comes here, and then wires go down to the furnace. Just used wire nuts, so then we didn't have as many connections going into those screws right there. All right, so if you get any error codes, they're gonna come up on this little gauge right here, and it'll tell you what the error is or what stage the furnace is running in. There will be a code. And then one thing I like to do is on the intakes, I always put one of these condensate collectors. That way when you're pulling freezing cold air in and it's hitting, this is gonna be warm all the way to where it goes outside. It can condensate, so this will collect it, send it down, put a loop in it, kind of essentially like a trap, and then it goes out at the drain. Here is the furnace condensate trap that comes with the unit. And then you just have to plumb it to your drain. My A-coil drain in. Boy, that light is bright, blind myself. So I'm gonna pick the lower of the two here. All right, guys, the last major step is to program your thermostat. Because this is a primary heat pump with backup gas, when you go into your thermostat settings, you need to set it to heat pump, and then you need to set the reversing valve to B. That way in cooling mode, it will be energized and then the system will run properly. After that, I have a checklist that I have made. I went through that whole checklist to make sure everything was good to go. And then I also hired a local HVAC company to come in and look over everything to make sure everything was hooked up properly and that the system was going to run the way it should. This is where some people can get confused. If you just ran cooling and then switched to heat, the system could kick on the auxiliary heat pretty quickly. That's because this coil is still cold or the system is trying to catch up to a big temperature difference. And don't worry, it is completely normal for both the heat pump and the auxiliary to heat run at the same time in these scenarios. As far as the AC on this unit is a one-stage cooling with a modulating inverter, so it will automatically ramp up or down depending on the cooling needs. A couple quick troubleshooting advice here. If your system doesn't start up, maybe you forgot to install the T1 sensor. That is one thing that will keep this entire system from operating, so make sure you have that installed in the return airflow or your system won't operate. If your blower doesn't come on, start with your G wire. Maybe you didn't get it connected properly. Maybe you forgot to connect the G from the interface to the furnace. If your outdoor unit doesn't come on, check your Y wire. And if your auxiliary heat is acting weird, check your W and or your thermostat settings. That's it, full install, wiring, and operation of this MRCOOL unit. If this helped you out, drop a like. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you've got questions, leave them in the comments and I'll help you out. And as always, we appreciate watching and don't stop dreaming.